Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where I'm pretty dumb. I know the reason now that I've taken some time off from the game for overnight. I know what the problem is. 100%. The problem is entirely on my own side. I have no idea what I was even thinking. So we've got this, right? This is the wrong size. This is all Rockamax sized up here. That's the problem. I'm really dumb. Okay, so we're going to detach this for the time being. We're going to ditch all of this and rebuild this from scratch. So we're going to ditch that. We're going for a pod here. Now, I wanted to go for the Mark II lander can because that is a 2-seat lander can. I think what we really need is like the Mark 1 to 3 gumball. No, even that's Rockamax sized in this game. Okay, so for now, we're just going to go with the tin can. It's only a single-seater, and that'll have to do for now. All of these are... It's interesting that there's no... In fact, we should, if we're going to go for a single-seater, we should go for the Mark I Explorer. It's interesting that all of these, other than the... Well, all of the non-single-seat pods are Rockamax size in KSP2. I think that's what threw me off. I think that's it. But obviously, this problem is easy to solve. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to toss in a T800 here. And the reason why I wanted to toss in a T800 on this side is for height, right? And we do need that Rockamax adapter that I intended to grab over here. We need that there. I want this guy to be of the white color here, because this is really part of the maneuvering stage. So we're going to move this on over to be like that, but that went to the entire assembly. Okay. We'll make this go back to being orange-ish. Actually, I want it to be like this. There we go. And this will be only on the part, so we'll have it go kind of like that. Okay. So that should do the trick for the time being. Now, we're going to need our engine up here. This, of course, is going to be the... what am I looking for? That's the Spark engine. We're looking for the Terrier. There we go. So we'll put the Terrier in here. At this point, we should go back to this being black, but I want it to have white accents. We're going to apply that to the entire part there, or rather the entire assembly there. And now we need to strap on our side tanks. Now, this will be maybe a little bit heavier than we're used to still, and that's because this is a T800 here. The reason I went for a T800 is because there aren't any science parts. So we're now going to go for something along the lines of the TT38K. We're going to go for quad symmetry. We'll park this guy somewhere around here. And we're going to go for the T400s. Now, normally, the amount of fuel I'd have on this would be a T400, right? That would be the size that we would go for. Let's go ahead and use the Rotate and Translate tool to move this down a little bit. And we need to think about the landing legs. I have a feeling these are way too big now. Yeah, they absolutely are. So we're going to use the Wombats as usual. Looks good. There we go. And we're, of course, going to need some amount of electricity generation, even if I don't fully understand how the electricity works in this game quite yet. We'll get there. We'll go down to 2 symmetry. There we go. That makes more sense. And we'll just deposit this, I don't know, right around here would probably be fine. Okay, so now we're going to need, of course, to have our fuel line. And... I still don't know how to move up. That's something that I should probably figure out at some point. But we're going to move these on in. That was on single symmetry. We'll need that on quad symmetry. Now, apparently, we're moving in. Okay, I believe we need to redo all of that. Yeah, that's about right. Now we're going to need to strut this in. Something like this. There we go. We'll need aerodynamic nose cones on top of this, and we're going to keep these. Normally, I would like decouple them and get rid of them for weight purposes later. We could do that. We could definitely do that. So we would need, like, TD12s here. and do something along the lines of this to be able to detach our nose cones. So then we're going to need a TD12 down here. And that would, of course, be attached like so. Then we're going to strut this in from here to about here. There we go. And we're already strutted in here. This should be reasonably fine. In fact, we probably don't need these struts, realistically. So we can get rid of those, and that'll be okay. So this is going to be much, much, much lighter. Cool. So we're going to need to check our staging. And let's see here. This is definitely very, very wrong. We're going to need the SRBs. Yeah, this moves down all the way to the bottom. Apparently it didn't want to drag up over this way. Cool. So these separatrons... Is this only the one? That's weird. Okay, this one's going to go up here with the rest of the separatrons. So, let's go ahead and go through this staging. We probably don't need these empty stages, at least for now. We can think about adding additional stages if needed, but it should be okay. So we've got our primary lifters. Yep, and then our SRBs need to pop off over here. Cool. Then we've got... What is this? This is very, very wrong. Let's see. We need to fire this next after the SRBs pop off. So that's our main core detaching and our maneuvering stage firing up. Cool. And then we've got, it looks like, a single decoupler up here. I'm not sure why these aren't together. And I'm not sure what these decouplers are. Okay. Got it. So this decoupler moves up here. They need to be together for now. Cool. So then this is our landing stage, and these decouplers can go here. Cool. So is our staging correct now? Ish. Now, keep in mind, we don't really have any way to land this thing, right? So we're going to need to have a decoupler here. So we'll have a TD12. I'm going to use a heat shield, even though I think that it's not strictly speaking necessary here. We're going to use an HS125. This has some built-in heat shielding, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure that the Mark 1 Explorer does. It does in KSP-1, anyway. Apparently no ablation in KSP-2. Okay, that is noted. So then we're just going to bring in a parachute here. We're going to have something like a Mark 16 XL. And we can put on a pair of radial mount chutes. Drogue chutes. Just to slow us down a little bit more. Those are not radial mount at all. Radial mount drogues. Cool. So something along the lines of this. That makes a lot more sense to me. Fantastic. Now, we may still have some weakness at this joint, if this is at all like KSP-1, in the way that that's put together. So I am going to run struts from... Oh, that was a bit laggy. I am going to run struts from here, simply down to here. Cool. And this should be much more likely. I don't have any idea what I was even thinking, making this all Rocket Max size, and then with this level of booster. That was obviously the problem. Yeah, go ahead and overwrite that. So I think that we're completely fine here. I want to... this staging is a little bit broken now. We're going to need to move this guy up over here. Okay. And these separatrons happen separately. We need 2 additional stages here. We have the drogue chutes that fire here and the main that fires here. Okay. So this is allegedly 6,000 meters per second. It's actually more than that. Should be good. We'll save this. It is a little bit unfortunate that there's only single seaters of this size. We could toss in a crew cabin and drop this down to a T400. But for now, I think we'll just do this. Who do we have piloting this right now? currently we have Bob. We've already been running Bob. Let's bring Valentina, who is next on the list, apparently. Cool. So let's go ahead and launch this, and this should be much more successful. Now that I've identified myself as being dumb, we should be good to go. Yeah, we don't need this information every time, Paige. Cool. So it's apparently very dark right now, and I've not found any sort of an ambient light boost in the settings. Maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe it would be under, like, accessibility? No. Okay, so I've not found an ambient light boost, and things can get pretty dark with YouTube compression, right? YouTube compression does very poorly with dark things. That's why I used the ambient boost in KSP1. I'm wondering if there's a warp to sunrise option, like in KSP1. Regardless, we can just warp on forward. Whoa, that's really, really fast. Okay, I didn't realize that that's 1 million times. Let's try like 10 times. There we go. This'll do. We may have warped a little too far into the future, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's go. Excellent. We'll probably be skipping the countdown later on, but I think it's decent flavor for now. And off we go. So we're going to go until we're at around, like... Actually, right around now is probably about right. We're not going to want to be, like, giga aggressive with this gravity turn. But bringing it on over to about... Ooh, that was a little more than I wanted. Let's just go ahead and lock to prograde now. Cool. And up we go. So we've got a good amount of time here. We should have a lot more thrust to weight, in fact. I didn't look at what our thrust to weight was. Can we see that from here? Not really. We can see our total delta V. What's this button do? Oh, that opens it for all of them. Okay. I wish it showed the thrust to weight in this screen. That would be really nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But yeah, this is definitely going a lot better. I can see that we're a little bit off on our nav ball. I'm going to try to correct that by pulling this down a little bit. We want this to be a fairly equatorial orbit, so just a small correction here. Something along the lines of this. We want to be right on 90 degrees here. And we can see that we're on like 91, 92. We're still a little bit high. So let's bring that on down. Oh, we just switched over into orbital mode. Okay. How long on our SRBs? We should let this settle in on prograde then. And SRBs are out of here. Fantastic. Our apoapsis is really high. Oh, wow. I did not notice that that was that high. Sure, we're just going to go ahead and do this. I definitely don't have the feel for these gravity turns yet. That's for sure. Okay. So this is really high, right? But that's reasonably okay. I just want to circularize this a bit. And this is going to be, honestly, most of our required delta V for transferring to the moon as well. That's a lot, for sure. We're going to go ahead and lock to the node. And this burn is going to be in like 9 minutes. Hello, moon. We are coming for you. So we can see we've got like 5,000 delta V left here. And this is going to burn through some of the delta V in this stage. I'm wondering, it's showing as 0 delta V right now. That's interesting that this is showing as 0 delta V. It shouldn't be. We should go ahead and extend our solar panels. There we go. Okay, we were burning some electric charge there. I guess it just burns very, very slowly. compared to KSP1. Okay, that's good to know. And let's just go ahead and... we stopped moving there when I went into warp. Indeed. We stopped heading over towards the node. So let's resume heading over towards the node. Can we not... Like, I know that you can warp up here while under thrust in KSP2, right? But I'm wondering if you can't maneuver while under warp. That would be weird. Well, we definitely overshot our altitude. Thrust to weight is higher than I expected, but that's okay. It's better to have more thrust to weight than less. That's for sure. So we're going to head on over to this node. We are definitely turning fairly slowly, but that'll be much better once this stage detaches. Cool. We're definitely turning here, but if we go into warp, it definitely immediately stops. Yep. So we can still stabilize by going into warp, but there doesn't appear to be a concept of physics warp, which means that these sort of slow turns are going to be problematic, which will make me have to update my rocket design. Definitely. We're going to need probably some form of RCS or at least reaction wheels, in addition to what we have in this Mark I Explorer, which does have a reaction wheel, which is different from KSP-1, but whatever. So we're going to need to burn this in about 6 minutes. We've got plenty of time to head over towards our maneuver node, which is, of course, right here. And we'll be there shortly. This is probably close enough to begin a warp. Probably. But let's go ahead and warp over to this maneuver right about now. Looks good. Cool. So we've got about 30 seconds here until our burn. Indeed. This is going to be quite a bit of delta V to circularize at this altitude. No doubt about that one. I'm going to warp us forward just a little bit here. Okay. I don't like that it can go to pause like that. That's a habit I'm going to have to change, because I normally just mash the button to resume the normal speed, and that's definitely going to require some adjustment. No doubt about that. Cool. So let's get circularized here. Stopping burn in about a minute. We're going to be done with this stage very shortly, though. So that's looking good. About 100 more meters per second left in our booster stage, and then we'll be in our transfer stage. And off we go with our transfer stage. Excellent. This stage is much more efficient at this altitude. Interesting that it's apparently pulling delta V from up here. That's very weird. Oh, and we should stage this. There we go. These are kind of being carried with us a little bit, but I'm sure we'll be able to get rid of them eventually. Yeah, that's a little less clean than it is in KSP-1. No doubt about that. We're going to stop this burn in about 30 seconds. I don't know why our camera isn't keeping up with the rocket right now. That's interesting. We're actually tumbling a bit. And I think it has to do with the nose cones. So I'm letting them get a little bit of distance here. Did they destroy this solar panel? No, it's just invisible. Okay, cool. Huh. Well, that's definitely interesting. I'm not sure why things are happening the way that they are. Oh. What? I've massively... Is this maneuver broken? Hang on. We're going to get rid of that maneuver. And we're just going to lock to prograde. The maneuver appears to have forgotten what we're doing. I also don't seem to be super able to move us back to prograde. And the camera's way off over here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. Okay, well, we're in orbit. Let's go ahead and go back to the KSC. I can't see the vehicle unless we're looking over here now. Let's go back to the KSC and then back to the tracking station, and let's reload this real quick. Okay. Part ineffective, lack of stellar exposure. Sure. So this is as zoomed in as we can get. For some reason, the game is very confused all of a sudden. It thinks we're looking here, but our craft is over here. I don't know what's going on with that. We also can't steer our craft anymore. We have plenty of electric charge. Okay, so there's something going on here. And the question is what? Let's see, that's map and tracking station. Sure. It's trying, I think, to, like, average between these parts. I think that's what's going on here. But I don't want it to be doing that. Okay. I'm quite confused by this view. I just switched us over into chase mode. This is horizon mode. This is celestial mode. This is capture mode. Body mode. Flight camera mode. Auto. I think it's definitely trying to encapsulate these guys here. So let's go back to the tracking station and get rid of those. All of this debris. Let's destroy this. This is really strange that we apparently have to do this. It's not actually being destroyed. Okay. Indeed, that's not actually working. This is some strange behavior, right? Like, this is really strange behavior. So this is in chase mode. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's trying to keep these in vision is what's happening. I'm like 99% sure about that. So how do we prevent that from happening? Let's go into the settings here, into input, and see if there's anything in here. Uh-huh. Camera fine movement. Toggle mouse look. Okay. But that's still not what we're looking for. This is in horizon mode. This is as zoomed in as we can get. We can't get any closer than this right now. This is in celestial mode. Capture body. I want it to be in auto mode, for sure. But it's definitely trying to see this at the same time as this. That is 100% what's happening here. The really interesting thing here is that we're no longer able to turn. Okay. Our vehicle is out of fuel. What? You mean Valentina was out of fuel? Maybe. Yeah, no, not enough crew. But Valentina got out to try to see if we can bring this on around here. Yeah, see, it's trying to move it, but we're not actually moving. We're in orbit. That's no problem. So we can solve this, but the question is, what is going on with the camera? Why can't we destroy our debris? And why can't we turn our craft? We have a reaction wheel. We have power for our reaction wheel. We have a pilot. And we have full control. Cycling through nearby objects does not appear to work. Huh. And I have no idea where our craft is at this point. It's, missing. Cool. So, I guess we can see if a game restart would fix some of this. And, I'll be right back. Okay, I've restarted the game, and it kind of helped. So the camera is still very weird. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's very dark here right now. We're on the dark side of Kerbal. So that is to be expected. But I was able, when I restarted the game, I was able to untrack, well, some of the debris vanished. I don't know if I was able to untrack it or not. I don't appear to be able to destroy this debris. So that appears to not be functional at this moment. Now, as for the actual camera as far as the actual camera goes, and why we can't control our attitude, I don't know what's going on with that. I really, really don't. I don't know where our craft is right now. Let's go into, like, chase mode. There it is. Okay. So we're trying to do our inclination change here. But we don't appear to be really able to turn. And I can't really explain that either. Regardless, we're going to try this and see if our engine gimbaling gets us there. 3, 2, 1, mark. No. And furthermore, this thing is vibrating all over the place. And also, the maneuver node is broken. Okay, I think I may have broken the game. Indeed. Yeah, the maneuver node was supposed to be... Okay, we're going to move it over to here now. We're going to create a maneuver plan, and this maneuver plan was intended to be a inclination change, to put us in plane with the moon. We want to head to the maneuver. This is towards target. Got it. So the question is, what is actually going on here? I don't know. It may just be broken. This may be some early access nonsense. We can try reverting this and launching it again. And actually, we can't revert it at this point. But what we can do is we can go back to the tracking station. And... actually, there's this destroy button over here, isn't there? Wait, the debris is gone now? The debris is gone now. We lost oh! It just blew up. Everything just exploded. Okay, the only thing I can imagine is that has to be a bug, right? That definitely has to be a bug. So let's head back to the VAB. Oh, the game is really laggy now. That has to be a bug. Let's see if it'll even... oh, wow. This frame rate is not good. Okay. We clearly need another game restart. It's time to put a cut in here. This game is... it needs some time in the oven, I think. We seem to have run into a pretty major bug. Good thing we're in sandbox mode. We're going to try this again in the next episode, and we'll see if it actually functions this time. This is definitely a bug. 100%. It's to be expected in early access, but this is a pretty major one. We'll see if it happens again. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Ken2in, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisol, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.